I'm gonna do a reaction style video of me breaking down the lyrics of some of my rap songs. And I'm gonna start with the first one I ever did. It's very lyrically dense and quite poetic, so I'm gonna play it and then pause it and break down the lyrics and continue to do that. Okay, here we go. It's called 5 Minute Freestyle. This is a beat by Atmosphere. My twin brother Cody showed me this beat and I really loved it.
I used to settle too low, like a pelican nose. They want to clip my wings, but cut feathers can grow.
Okay, so right off the bat, I used to settle too low, like a pelican nose. That's a double entendre, meaning not only I used to cut myself short and settle, it's a image, it's a physical image comparison. Like imagine a pelican and the beak is really big at the bottom. I used to settle too low, like a pelican nose. The beak settles low on a pelican. So that was a really subtle double entendre. And then I said, they try to clip my wings, but cut feathers can grow. And that's also tacking on to the pelican metaphor that, people can push me down, people can write me off, people can backstab me, but I'm gonna grow back from that. Even if they cut my feathers, cut feathers can grow. So I used to settle too low, like a pelican nose. They try to clip my wings, but cut feathers can grow. And now let's continue.
They can't put out my light cause I invented the bulb. I wasn't born, I just climbed out of Edison's tomb. Now I got more steam cause I invested the coal. I'm in my zone showing homes until succession unfolds.
Okay. It's really dense. On my first song, I spent a lot of time making sure the rhyming, the metaphors, and everything was really complex. So the next part is, they can't put out my light. I invented the bulb. I wasn't born. I just climbed out of Edison's tomb. And from the very beginning, pelican nose, settle too low, Edison's tomb, it's all 4-syllable rhymes, which is more rare in today's hip hop. It's like, na 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 na, yeah, yo, and just adding that onto the end, but it doesn't really rhyme. So I wanted to do that, but then it's kind of like, have you heard of this? Oh, I invented it. It's like an exaggeration that people say. So they can't put out my light. I invented the bulb. And as you know, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Or so that's what we're taught. And then I wasn't born. I just climbed out of Edison's tomb. But it had to rhyme. And that's directly connected to the previous line. They can try to cut my wings, but cut feathers can grow. They try to clip my wings, but cut feathers can grow. It's like, you can't put out my light. You can't clip my wings. My wings are going to grow back. I invented the bulb. So that's really dense metaphor. And then let's rewind a little bit.
climbed out of Edison's tomb. Now I got more steam, cause I invested the coal. I'm in my zone, showing homes until succession unfolds.
So I'm picking up more steam because I invested the coal. Coal was used for steam engines. And then the next line was, I'm showing homes until succession unfolds. This is when I was trying to sell real estate as a real estate agent, which required a lot of money up front, much more than I thought, if you go with a big company like I did. And then there's advertising, signs, errors and emission insurance. So that was the coal. And I felt really optimistic at that point. So it was like, I'm picking up more steam, which is a euphemism for progress, because I invested the coal, basically meaning money. But coal turns into steam, and they use that for a power source much more in the past. And then I'm showing more homes until succession unfolds. That was an optimistic thing, and trying to keep with a lot of rhyming.
Letting them know they do the least when they're expecting the most. Let them go so you don't live a life where lemons can grow.
Let them know they do the least when they're expecting the most, and let them go so you don't live a life where lemons can grow. It's like cut the bad fruit off of the tree. And they say, lemons means something bad. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But you don't really want lemons. It means challenges. And that was just about people think that success is going to happen by accident. Let them know they do the least when they're expecting the most. And I was doing the most and getting the least, so I was bitter about that.
My leverage though is like 11-0. You play the field, I'm on the track, intercepting your throws like Slim, cause I respected his perspective the most.
Okay, then my leverage though is like 11-0. Imagine a scoreboard at a sports game. One team has 11 points, one team has 0. And then
they want to box me in, and I'm when they're expecting the most. Let them climb down to Edison's tomb. Now I got more steam, cause I invested the coal. I'm in my zone, showing homes until succession unfolds. Letting them know they do the least when they're expecting the most. Let them go so you don't live a life where lemons can grow. My leverage though is like 11-0. You play the field, I'm on the track, intercepting your throws like.
And then you play the field, I'm on the track, intercepting your throws. Meaning, if you're trying to play the field and, get with a lot of girls and that's all you care about, here I am on the track, running circles around you, around the field, how it's set up at schools and whatnot. But also, I'm on the audio track. I'm on a music track, and I'm intercepting your throws. I'm stealing your opportunities because you're ignoring them. The opportunities that you can't catch when you're playing the field, just trying to hook up with as many girls as possible, I'm able to catch those because I'm farther off the field on the track around it. So that was also a really complex metaphor.
Like Slim, cause I respected his perspective the most.
Slim Shady, Eminem, he was doing the same thing.
They want to box me in and I'm wrecking the mold.
They want to box me in and I'm wrecking the mold. Like, imagine there's a mold that you're filling up with metal or something. People try to say that all white rappers are the same. Sometimes they exclude Eminem, but especially the new wave of white rappers, they try to say they're all the same. So they want to box me in, but I'm wrecking the mold. So you can't box me in.
Aiming for gold, so thanks for checking out this record I wrote.
Aiming for gold standard record.
To face all of my goals is like a menacing blow.
I have big goals. They even scare me.
Put it in your mind, my rhymes are epileptic the most.
Epilepsy, seizure. My rhymes are the craziest. My rhymes are out of control, like a seizure.
And when most are letting off the gas and pedal to the metal, when they take a back seat with TVs and play Nintendo, I'm turning up the stereo and making a crescendo.
When most are letting off the gas and giving less effort and giving up, I'm pedal to the metal. That's when I'm going as hard as possible. That's when I'm lapping people. When they take a back seat with TVs and play Nintendo, when they're playing video games, it's keeping with the car metaphor. I'm turning up the radio and making a crescendo. I'm getting even louder. It's basically like when people are backing off, I'm going more full blast forward.
Because I'm hardcore for this art form. They want to stop my drive and get me to park more.
That's continuing with the car metaphor. They want to stop my drive. They want to stop my ambition and get me to stop more and park more. And before that, I'm hardcore for this art form. Like I'm treating this seriously. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not trying to follow a wave. Like, I really appreciate the art of rhyming and rapping and writing and poetry and literature and all of that, the spoken word.
But my rhymes hardcore over the car doors. I'm strong as carbon fiber and they're just cardboard.
It's like they try to stop me, but my rhymes are unstoppable. They're jumping over the car doors. I'm strong as carbon fiber, which is a very strong material used for race cars, and they're just cardboard. Like, no matter what, I'm harder than them. They're softer than me.
And I hit your system like a quart of frozen Jaeger.
That's a wake-up call. Imagine chugging a quart of Jägermeister.
Hold it, player, my rhymes can cut you up like Copenhagen.
That's bragging some more about my rhymes. Copenhagen, I'm not talking about the city, I'm talking about the tobacco. People cut up before they use.
It's so degraded the way they treat hip-hop now. You on the radio, but lyrically get knocked out.
This is a shot at mumble rappers. It's so degrading the way they treat hip-hop now. You're on the radio, but lyrically get knocked out. Like, you can just listen to songs on the radio. The beat is good, it sounds catchy, but many of them it doesn't rhyme, or they're talking about bullshit like drugs, sex, just no substance, and that bothered me and continues to bother me a lot.
Yeah, with a bottle of Grey Goose, you can hang loose. I can switch from real estate to rap and say the same dude.
So you're gonna get knocked out with a bottle of Grey Goose, which you were drinking to stay loose. I can switch from real estate to rap and stay the same dude. Like, I'm not even pretending to be something I'm not. Like, cars, clothes, hoes, money.
Dude, I'm thankful. Even though the day's more than a week away, I rap to the turkey, burn it, throw its beak away.
So most people are not thankful, and the only time they are thankful are on Thanksgiving. So I said, I'm thankful. Even though the day's more than a week away, I'll rap to the turkey, burn it, and throw its beak away. Like, spitting flames, spitting fire, spitting heat, rapping with powerful energy. Not just cooking the turkey, burning it, because of how intense my rhymes are. And then throw its beak away, because that's the only thing left.
Teachers say to keep your eyes on your own paper.
Keep your eyes on your own paper, meaning no cheating.
Best thing I ever learned, so now I'm the Lone Ranger. I'm only after one thing, there's only cash I'm hunting. I'm hungry for a steak because I'm sick of all this lunch meat.
But I didn't make that up, I saw it. Keep your eyes on your own paper is also a double entendre of not your assignment or test in class, but your money, your paper, your moolah. Best thing I ever learned, so now I'm the Lone Ranger. I'm only after one thing, there's only cash I'm hunting. I'm hungry for a steak because I'm sick of all this lunch meat. It's like, I want the finer things in life. It's not enough for me to have lunch meat turkey sandwiches for the rest of my life.
So when I play Monopoly, I'm touring the board with the torque of a Porsche, and there's no abort in the war. I'm conforming the score with cash under a board in the floor, but no more. There are more than just endorphins at war.
So in Monopoly, if you remember the old style Monopoly, there's different pieces that you can use to identify yourself. One is a car, which I liked. I'm touring the board with the torque of a Porsche, conforming the score. With cash from a board under the floor. So it's like, I'm gonna cheat at Monopoly. That's how bad I want to win. I have Monopoly money that I'm hiding under a board in the floor to give my car the torque of a Porsche, to tour the board, go around it as many times as possible. But no more. I can't keep doing this. There's more than just endorphins at war.
And I'm back with flesh from the dead, back for revenge, like a black Mac in a backpack to the back of your head.
So there was a lot of frustration in this song. So I'm back with flesh from the dead, back for revenge. I actually have cartilage in both of my knees from cadavers, from actual dead people, which I'm thankful for those people, but it was really painful. So I'm back with flesh from the dead. It's kind of like I'm coming back from the dead, back for revenge, like a black Mac, meaning Mac 10 gun in a backpack to the back of your head. Like, it's not literal. It's the symbology of, like, I'm so frustrated for revenge, it's not even going to be fair. I'm going to surprise you and execute you by surprise with a gun, with a black Mac in a backpack to the back of your head.
Bars snap like rat traps, the tabernacle defense.
My bars snap like rat traps. Bars means lyrics in rap terminology. My bars snap like, oh, he snapped, oh, he's got bars. My bars snap like rat traps. The tabernacle defense.
Tackle the rest without a tech, but my Adam's apple instead.
And I'll tackle the rest without a tech, like a Tech 9 gun, but my Adam's apple instead. Meaning, if I have to fight the government, I will, but everybody else, the only thing I need to defeat them is my voice, my spoken word, my lyrics.
And I'm adamant about rap with a pen, the biggest fan alive who fantasize to have it instead. And circumnavigate through the sea of lies, or use the truth to party like Moses did for the Israelites.
Okay, let's listen to that again. That was dense.
A buck that had to grow a mountain lion skin, so I decided to come navigate through that And I'm adamant about rap with a pen. The biggest fan alive who fantasize to have it instead. And circumnavigate through the sea of lies. But use the truth to party like Moses did to the Israelites.
And circumnavigate through the sea of lies, but use the truth to part it, like Moses did for the Israelites. Like, I'm going to use the truth to defeat the lies. I'm a buck, like deer, that had to grow into mountain lion skin. Mountain lions kill deer. It's kind of like I'm a sheep that had to grow into wolf skin. Like I'm finding my responsibilities bigger than my capabilities, and I have to grow into it.
So I decided to command my land like the iron fist. Feelers want to climb a mountain, they'll dangle from the precipice. In the road, so they choke and twist their head more than the exorcist. They fill my plate of veil with someone's throat in my hand. But I can't be a Jason Bourne when I don't know who I am.
People have always told me that I look like Matt Damon or Jason Bourne, especially when I have a buzz cut. In a film, I played a vil with someone's throat in my hand. I was in a student film as the villain, choking someone and killing people. But I can't be a Jason Bourne when I don't know who I am. It's like, I might look like Matt Damon, but I'm still trying to figure myself out. I'm still learning who I am. And in that movie, of course, he lost his memory, got amnesia, didn't know who he was.
So I'm sailing coast to coast until my boat hits the sand. Below crows on horse folks on horse roads and I ran.
So I'm sailing coast to coast until my boat hits the sand. I'm doing whatever it takes, trying to end up where I'm supposed to end up. For Porsche spokes on low pros on horse roads in Iran. Like, that's somewhere that I could potentially end up. I almost went to Iran with one of my friends who's from there, but I'm really into driving. There's a lot of references for cars. Porsche spokes, driving a Porsche car. On low pros, it's racing tires. On horse roads, it's really fun to drive off-road on dirt roads. It's basically just saying I'm figuring out my life, and wherever I end up, it's going to be crazy.
And you may not know the name, it's paradox. I flow insane, my focused aim can hold the world between my touch and shoulder blades.
Like, you might not know who I am, but my mentality is I'm holding up the world. Like, one of my favorite symbols, Atlas, holding up the world between his shoulders. You might not know the name. It's paradox. I flow insane. My focused aim can hold the world between my touching shoulder blades.
I train on tracks with more wheels than rollerblades. Got more drive than a Maserati motorcade.
I train on tracks with more wheels than rollerblades. Tracks meaning musical tracks. Wheels meaning different layers of beats and sounds. I got more drive than a Maserati motorcade. Like, a huge amount of Maseratis. Just one has a lot of power, but drive is ambition. It's an exaggeration. It's a hyperbole.
I have to rhyme. It says what I can't sing like a pantomime. Besides, words can't even explain my mind half the time.
And this is a line that's often quoted that people really like, that gets reactions live. I have to rhyme. It says what I can't say, like a pantomime. Like, there's something in me and it has to come out. A lot of artists say that. Besides, words can't even explain my mind half the time. It's like, I'm trying my best to express myself, but it's so difficult, I might as well make it even harder in rhyme. And then at least you can get in essence from the limitation and use of words.
For those who said I sound uneducated and I never make it, I'll separate their heads and throw them down some empty elevators. Send the wrong bodies to their families a second later. Just the neck down, but still throwing broken respirators. Is that too much? I need more beats to chew up. Remember, my height and weight is equal to a puma.
Now this was a really, really aggressive few lines. It was sort of about murder, and I regret saying that, but it's all not literal, it's metaphorical. And there was a lot of frustration. At the time I was working a lot, in way over my head with some of the top real estate agents in the world as an 18-year-old or 19-year-old. And everyone was trying to convince me to go to college, which I hated. It was really, really annoying. So let's listen to this again.
So the tree I shoot in the wrong bodies to sing like a pantomime. Besides, words can't even explain my mind half the time. For those who said I sound uneducated and I never make.
For those who said I sound uneducated and I'll never make it, I'll separate their heads and throw them down some empty elevators. Like, just really crazy. Like, I hate you so much, I'm gonna make sure no one even finds your head. It's gonna be unfindable.
I'll separate their heads and throw them down some empty elevators. Send the wrong bodies to the families a second later. Just the neck down, but still throwing broken respirators.
Send the wrong bodies to their families a second later. So you're not even going to get the body of your loved one that I hate? Just the neck down? And I'll throw in broken respirators just to make it that much, just to joke about it, just to make it that much worse. Respirators for a head that's not even there, and on top of that, the respirators are broken. And then writing this, I realized it was pretty extreme, but I liked the rhyming, the intensity. So then I said, is that too much? I need more beats to chew up. Remember, my height and weight is equal to a puma. Because puma, mountain lion, cougar, before in this song I made that reference, I'm a buck that had to grow into mountain lion skin. A mountain lion is a puma. So then it circled back, and I really love those animals, and they grow about 6 feet long and 160 pounds heavy, and that was my size at the time. I'm a little bigger now, but that was my size at the time. So it's like chewing up the beats like a puma.
Is that too much? I need more beats to chew up. Remember, my height and weight is equal to a puma. I need to put food up, or I'm taking you down. So the tree I shoot up, but I always flew down.
I need to put food up, or I'm taking you down. Like, I'm a wild puma, I'm hunting. If I can't find something to eat like a deer, and I come across you as a human, I'm gonna kill you to eat you. And it said, and then the tree I shoot up, like climbing up a tree, like cats do, mountain lion. But I always flew down. But that was a double entendre talking about cannabis when I was uncomfortable with saying it literally. So the tree I shoot up, but I always flew down. It's like I was smoking a lot of cannabis, but it always wears off. It never fixes anything. It always wears off. So the tree I shoot up, but I always flew down.
I'm the most dangerous thing you'll never see running. But if my breath was on your neck, your vertebrae would be crunching.
I'm the most dangerous thing you'll never see running. But if my breath was on your neck, your vertebrae would be crunching. It's like, first of all, almost everyone who gets attacked by mountain lions, even though it's rare, they usually don't see them because they're so stealthy, they're so sneaky, and they're so good at hiding that usually people don't see them running. They just feel the bite on the back of their neck. That's how they attack people. And also I had very, very horrible knee problems, so I was not able to run. But I still considered myself dangerous if I was to get into a fight. But if my breath was on your neck, your vertebrae would be crunching. That's just winding out the mountain lion metaphor. And then I realized that was a little creepy. So I said, that's not my kind of joke.
That's not my kind of joke. My rhymes are grosser than a line of coke after drinking from a fire hose with a mouth full of dial soap.
So this song is all about intensity and hyperbole. That's not my kind of joke. My rhymes are grosser than a line of coke after drinking from a fire hose with a mouthful of dial soap. It's like, if you've ever seen a fire hose, they can rip people's shirts off. So you don't want to drink from that. It's going to hurt. And then with soap in your mouth, you're probably going to drown. And then imagine taking a hit of cocaine after that. It's not going to be fun. Your whole sinuses are going to be messed up.
When Kyle spoke, the tiles broke and made a milestone. I live to die another day and disappear in tire smoke.
When Kyle broke, the tiles broke and made a milestone. Tiles can turn into a huge stone. When Kyle spoke, the tiles broke and made a milestone. I live to die another day and disappear in tire smoke. This was a line from a James Bond movie, Die Another Day. I live to die another day. Kind of rationale for living dangerously. I was really into driving fast, burning rubber, drifting. I live to die another day and disappear in tire smoke. After I'm done with rapping, which is powerful enough to make tiles on the ground crack and then consolidate together into a boulder or a milestone, which means progress or a huge accomplishment. Anyway.
I'm near the valley and I haven't hit my peak yet. I'm drowning in the deep end, trying to get my feet wet.
Where I lived and grew up was near the valley, the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles. I'm near the valley, but I haven't hit my peak yet. Meaning, also, I'm kind of at rock bottom, but that's okay because I haven't hit my peak yet, and I have a lot to look forward to. I'm drowning in the deep end, but I haven't got my feet wet. This is when I was in real estate, way over my head, as I said before, which is commensurate with drowning. And that was before reaching any level of success. That was before selling a house. So before I even got my feet wet, I was drowning in the deep end. And I really liked the poetic significance of that.
But the creek bends, so I'll cement the last seat left.
But the creek bends, so I'll cement the last seat left. It's like I'm drowning in the deep end, but it's going to get more shallow. The creek bends. Time goes on and things change. So I'll secure the last seat available for greatness. Even if it's the last one, I'll get it because time moves on, things change, and it's a lot of hope.
And I won't preach or speak what I ain't seen yet, but my future labor never ripened from leaflet.
It's like, I know I'm not successful yet, so I'm not gonna preach or talk about things that I haven't seen. But my fruits of labor, my rewards, my money, my income, my payments, my results never happened from advertising. My fruits of labor never ripened from leaflets, which is also a really consistent metaphor of fruit becoming more ripe and then leaves around it. It's all connected. But I repent spending green checks on steep threads. It's like I used to spend all my money on clothes, and I regret that. But don't pretend to regret playing rough and reset. It's like I might have some regrets, but it's not playing rough at recess. Some risks you have to take, and having fun, wrestling, whatever. I grew up wrestling with my twin brother. I wrestled with a lot of my friends. Not getting in fights, but having fun, and we got in trouble anyway about that, and I don't regret that. Verbal agreements better be on respect, because a cheap threat is pulling out the heat, yeah. So it's like verbal agreements better be on respect. Like, you should respect and honor the agreements you make, the deals you make. You shouldn't need a threat of death or murder or some kind of punishment, because that's a cheap threat. That's a threat that anybody can make that you don't have to make. Because if you're gonna do it, you don't have to make it. And if you make it, you're probably not gonna do it. And I don't like it. It's really disrespectful. There's there's a stereotype, and there's a lot of people like, oh, if this person walks up to me, I'm gonna kill him, blah blah blah. I don't like that. I'm not with that. Even if you get betrayed, you have to risk being betrayed. You have to represent yourself and not others. Verbal agreements better be on respect, because a cheap threat is pulling out the heat. Yeah, heat meaning gun. So take a deep breath. What if you had a week left? So take a deep breath. What if you had a week left to live? You wouldn't want someone to threaten you and kill you. You wouldn't joke about death like that. But I digress. My rhyming mind machine's threat. But I digress. I've been switching from a lot of different topics. My rhyming mind machines threads like a sewing machine. I need lines to sew like I'm a seamstress. Yeah. I need lines to sew like I'm a seamstress. Sewing lines into a song. So bouncing around from different topics. It's like, well, I'm thinking about what rhymes, and it's all true, but it's not going to be 100%. It's not going to be 100% chronological. I'm reading classic poetry with more than dough to me. I study the greats, because in life there's no control delete. Yeah, I love poetry. I said it's worth more than dough to me. That's an exaggeration, but I really appreciate it. I study the greats because in life there's no control delete. I saw a quote that said, a reader lives 1,000 lives. Someone who never reads lives only one. So that's the power about reading, whether it's fiction or nonfiction or biographies. Learning from other people is basically getting synthetic experience and saving the time it would take to get your own experience. So I think that's so powerful. And you can't go back. You can't erase time. So there's no control delete. You can't take it back. So it helps to learn as much as possible from other people before you make your own mistakes.
Going overseas to buy a Lotus and control the keys, so stop the hocus pocus, please, and notice me.
I want to buy a Lotus Elise really bad still. They're made in the UK. But this was just about like, I have really big goals. There's a lot of dreams that money can buy that I want, and I'm not getting noticed, even though I felt like I felt like I wasn't earning the amount of money that I was worth, which it all works out, but that's how I felt. So basically, notice me and buy houses from me.
Knees are weak, so I hit the trees like Mowgli.
I had really bad knees, and I was rationalizing my use of cannabis about that. It probably did more harm than good, but knees are weak, so I hit the trees like Mowgli. Mowgli from the Jungle Book, living in the trees like Tarzan. Hit the trees. Trees meaning cannabis and jungle.
You can't stop my focus in the shit I'm spitting potently. Plus I openly stay focused on my poesy and on my bread, greens, and cheese like I'm a grocery.
So I'm focused on my poesy, meaning poetry, and on my money. My bread, greens, and cheese. All euphemisms for cash, like a grocery. All things that you can buy in a grocery store.
Plus I spaz with the notepad uncontrollably.
Kind of like what I said earlier. About comparing my lyrics to having seizures. Keep it in your mind, my rhymes are epilepting the most. I circled around to that at the end again. Plus I spaz with the notepad uncontrollably.
Cats are cold to me, so who wanna catch this flow disease?
Cats are cold to me, so who want to catch this flow disease? It's like, I'm not getting the recognition I want, but I feel better than a lot of these rappers. And a cold, like a common cold, like a disease, a flow disease. When you have the common cold, your sinuses can't flow, they're caught up. It's technically a low level disease in my estimation. So that's it. It only took 43 minutes for a 5-minute song, but there's a lot packed in there. I was self-conscious about my skill, so it took a long time to write this first song, and it's very, very, very dense. You can listen to the whole thing without me interrupting and explaining it below in the link, and drop a comment on SoundCloud or YouTube, please. Thank you so much.